Okay. Can I go now, T?
Yes.
Good evening to everyone. Thank you for choosing Select SATV this evening. My name is Ntabiseng Hadebe, and today I have two prominent, beautiful, powerful, and strong women with us here tonight. Today we're speaking all things fabric. Today we are speaking la la la. Let me welcome my guests, mother and daughter, the Ranagas. Sis Nompumi and your beautiful daughter, welcome to Select SATV.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
It is indeed a pleasure to have you. Thank you for honoring our invite.
Thanks for thinking of us. Thanks for having us, actually. Yeah.
Before we tap into the business aspects of things, can I ask you individually to give our viewers a brief description of who is Sis Nompumi and who is her daughter? Just a brief description.
She's old enough to speak for herself now, so what she's speaking for you.
So,
If you know, I don't know where to start. Am I speaking for myself or speaking for the both of us? No, you're speaking for yourself. Oh, I am
you can
Tando.
speak.
All right. Only daughter of Nompumelelo. I don't know what you want to hear. Hardworking. Very smart over here. You know, intellectual as well, and I believe in a lot of things. You know, a bit controversial as well to society.
Okay.
Nompumelelo,
Interesting.
a newly divorcee trying to figure out this life and this new path that I've decided to take with my kids. She's a determined woman who is a contrast of fierce and soft. It could be confusing for somebody who doesn't know me well and they think I'm soft, and then that side just pops out and it doesn't. The dragon. The dragon. Yeah. And loving human being, determined to succeed and determined to surpass all doldrums that face me. I'm a silent warrior and one of those underdogs that people have to watch out for.
Wow. I'm gonna give my next question to Tando.
Yeah.
What or propelled the birth of Lalala, which translates as "come sleep here"? How did that come about? How did the name come about? What is the inspiration behind the entire concept?
Initially, the name actually came from a deceased uncle, family friend, Chili M. May his soul rest in peace. So he gave the name to my mom. When was it? Just before the business, no, just before the divorce got heavy. And then he's like, you know what, Mpumi, you're gonna need something to bounce back on, you know. You need to make a name for yourself, you know. And then he was like, la la la, you know, Wuzuk la la la. And it's like, boom, there's the name. And then last year during lockdown level 5, I approached my mom and I was like, hey, I want to do lingerie. It's about time. Because I've had the thought for years, but she didn't run until last year. And then I told her, and she goes, hey, this is what I want to do, which is bedding. Then we're like, okay, the meeting point is loungewear. Then I was like, here's lingerie. And then we put it all together, and it's like each thing is a connotation to la la la, you know. This bedding, la la la. This lingerie, la la la. This lingerie, la la la, you know. And then we pushed, and here we are right now.
Sisimpumi, what made you want to go into business with your daughter? I mean, that's very something that most parents do never consider, or most parents don't take into consideration. What made you have the confidence in your daughter to say she can be the most efficient or the most consistent business partner or businesswoman partner that I can have?
Very simple. I grew up from mom and dad who have been business owners, and watching them live through this life of theirs together, I had a blueprint and a little voice inside here that said to me that, you know, when husband and wife come together for the good of the family, can't fail, you know? So I had no husband to come together with. And even when I had a husband to come together with, it was not reciprocated. I'm a big fan of reciprocation. And I am a big fan of things that are not said, but said very loudly in body language and all. Yeah. So there was a lot of negativity in that regard, which for 14 years had me shut myself up. Because you speak so many times, you get rejected so many times, you know, you get told off so many times, and you get your eyes rolled or their eyes rolled at you so many times. And then you just decide that you want to keep it to yourself, right? And when the time came, it was no, I mean, it was a bit obvious to me that the person I would rather go into business with would be my angel face, because roots, you know, the trees of the roots of the tree
True.
do not dwindle. The branches may, you know, when the weight is too strong, the leaves will fall off, as we're about to experience now when entering autumn. But the roots will always give nourishment to the entire tree. And this here is my root.
You spoke of a very excruciating, painful process that you just went through. And what I want to know from you, Tando, is what have you learned from what your mother has experienced recently with the divorce? What has that taught you, and what does that say to you as a woman, seeing her flourish now, seeing her evolve without having a man, or evolving from this dire circumstance that faced? What does that say to you as a woman?
This situation has taught me how to be strong, honestly, and how to stand by myself, you know. It's taught me how to be very wary of people, not just your partner, but people in general, because you can ask for support or not even ask for support. Like there's been instances where my mom's the one who jumps for people, you know. And then during that time, she didn't obviously ask for people to jump for her. She didn't want people to jump for her. She needed people to jump for her. But like she said, reciprocation wasn't, you know. And then it ended up me being the one to jump for her, and it's like I'm just a kid, you know. Like I don't know. And then I had to grow up quickly, you know. So it's like, okay, time for me to grow up, put my big girl panties on, stand and be her anchor, but also now I need to stand and be by myself, you know. And as much as we all want intimate partners or whatnot, always leave room for disappointment. Friendship always leave room for disappointment. So that's something. I think I've grown a hard heart, you know, because I'm a very emotional person, but Now it's like a mixture of super sensitive and super hard, and
The rock
the rock.
and the dragon.
And the rock and the dragon. um, and being the rock, it actually dawned on me because the last time my mom told me, she's like, "You've got such a hard heart, like it's hard. What's going on?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's the first time I'm hearing that because usually it's like, why are you crying? You're always crying." So now, I guess something new I have to learn is how to balance the two, being super emotional and being realistic and not phased about things. So it's a bit difficult, but it's something I have to learn now.
I admire your collaboration. Seem to be quite close and have a very special bond. As myself, I think that that's very important to have a peculiar bond with your children, and seeing a daughter and a mother having this kind of bond and going into business together, that's very admirable. Now, coming to Lalala, a mother and a daughter, intimately elegant bed in loungewear and lingerie collection, proudly South African product. How is the fabric? Is it natural? Is it synthetic? Could you please tell us about your various products that you have?
Sure. You touched on something before I touch on the products. You touched on the relationship that I have with my daughter, and if I may just elaborate,
Yes.
she's got no choice. She's got no choice but to honestly have no choice but to have this relationship, and explain why. I took her out of South Africa when she was 5 years old, and we lived in Hong Kong, then moved to Bahrain, then back to Abu Dhabi, then Bahrain. No, yeah, whichever, but it was all of those places. And she was 5, and at that time, I had agreed to become a stay-at-home mom because I could not, for the love of me, think I could entrust a stranger in my home and taking care of my children while I went out to work. So she was my handbag, took her to school, fetched her from school every day, every weekend for how many years? Gosh, until she literally turned 18, I would say. Yeah, until she literally turned 18, she's been
Wow.
my handbag. So she's got no choice but to have me as a friend. I've got no choice but to have her as a friend because life served us that kind of closeness, and I think we did well. Yeah. Getting into La La Land,
Oh, yeah.
getting into La 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 and the products. Um, we've got bedding, we've got loungewear, like my daughter said. We've got lingerie coming up, and soon, very soon, we'll be launching furniture, beds, sofas, dining tables, and household ornaments. So
Yes.
this is a holistic brand, and my inspiration comes from my time spent as a housewife, and those years were tough. Um, Years where I doubted myself, years where I took everything that I'd learned outside and the education that I had and I implemented it into running a household. So whatever I did in corporate world, I would then incorporate it into the simple meals, the running up and downs, time management and all of that. So that was a big feature there for me. And the inspiration, like I said, of where the brand stems from is me living abroad, not having any family, no relatives, just me and the kids. The husband was never there. And making homes in strange places and turning those homes into sanctuaries that we would not even have to feel like we're out of South Africa. or out of home. So whenever we felt frustrated or whenever we felt like we longed to be home, as a home, we just needed to open the doors of the house and close the doors and shut ourselves in. And there we had our sanctuary. So this is just basically me transferring that which I learned to do over the years, and became passionate about, and I'm still passionate about it, and creating that a home with the energy that invites you in, the energy that, you know, when you knock off from work or when you're out drinking with your pals, there at some point and you're like,
Yes.
yeah, I don't, that's what happens to me most of the time. That I'll zone in and my energy will want to be inside this home that I've now put together. And so that's just basically what I'd like to, you know, give back from all the pain and just turn that into, you know, let people experience themselves, let them experience their homes in ways that are infused by my international experience, and what we're going to bring through is absolutely inspired by all of that. So it is unique in that sense. And this is where we are. And this is where we're going.
It seems as if, wow, that's incredible. It seems as if the brand promotes self-love. And I like how you transformed all that you went through into what we are seeing now. And I don't know, how did you manage to do that? Or where do you draw your strength from? Is it from a higher power, maybe? Or is it from family? Where do you draw such a remarkable strength from?
If you look back there, there's this map, right? And there's pins all over it,
Yes.
places that one has traveled and lived. Something happens to an individual when, one, you are 16 and you get raped, right? And you have to find your inner self and you start running. You start running from yourself, okay? And because you don't know where to run to. So then I met her dad, and then, yeah, we became very close knit. We became a family. And then that died down. And I started to run again because I've accustomed myself from the age of 16 to run away from whatever it
Yes.
is, you know, messing me up inside, right? And then I chose to run, and every single dot there is just me running away. And what I learned from all of that was that you can run all you want. You can get on the planes, you can land in new destinations, exotic, beautiful places that people only dream of going. And the only person that you still find there is yourself. So if you're not happy within, you will not be happy anywhere there in this globe. So I had to learn to find inner peace. I had to heal. I had to face my demons, and I had to accept. So yes, ideally people will say prayer. I pray, but I do not just pray. I also have a little rod, an imaginary rod that I have here running. That's my center. Okay, so whichever direction I face, this little rod is my voice, my internal voice, and it is military like. You don't want to live inside here. It is military like we know it. Once I start to get, that's why they call it the dragon. Once I start to get into that mode, then I cannot give myself excuses. It kicks me out of bed. It tells me to turn left, turn right. It tells me to leave situations. And sometimes it tells me to leave situations while I'm still attached to them. but I've learned to listen to that voice, and that voice is called intuition. So my intuition has been one of the key elements that ensured that I get to where I am today.
Now, coming from a very prominent family, how did you mentioned that you were a housewife at some point? Were you not pressured to do something constructive or productive with your life because of the bloodline that you come from and the pattern of success that you come from?
Interesting question. And I'm going to answer it as honest and as fair and as nonchalant as I am going to answer it. You see it as a prominent family. I see it as my family. I know no other family, one. Two, my life started young. My life started way before my sisters made, well, not Manaka, yes, made it. Yeah, but my life started more or less the same time Manaka, my working life. And what my life then did, it shot me up the corporate ladder so quickly on foreign land that my dad was very concerned about me coming back to SA because he says my experiences, work experiences, life experiences, and my CV do not match because of what I've been able to accomplish at a young age. And I didn't see that at first. I only saw it when I came back to SA and tried to apply for jobs and it just didn't make sense. My CV didn't make sense. So I did get a job, which I left because it was, and I also had that fallback that I don't need this. I can go stay home. I don't need this, you know. Now that is not there anymore. So what I would like to go back to and say that the most important job that I've done, and I mean, I've worked for Etihad Airways and I was the blueprint, part of the blueprint that started that airline to make it a 5-star airline that it is today. And that goes down in my books as an accolade of notes, right? And have worked in the High Court of Hong Kong and gosh, have worked and flown your Saudi sheikhs and sheikhas all over the world, private jet style, and ensured that they are all sorted. Within all of that and all the luxury that I've been accustomed to in my short life, I can tell you for a fact that the most prominent job that I've ever done was sitting at home raising my children. Because within that, I held all careers on the hands, right? And I had the time to see and figure out their personalities individually that, so Tando is not going to survive or Saheti School or Holy Rosary, for example, not because of her personality, not because of anything, the school being bad or whatever, no, but because my daughter's character was starting to bloom. And I could see that, no, this one is going to be a creative. So let me put her in line with that. My son, I can tell you, he's going to create games. He's probably going to work for NASA. I can tell you that for free. And just by observation, he is technically inclined, he's mathematically inclined, and that is all that I learned through just interacting with them every day. And within all of that, I hold all careers in the palm of my hand. Today, we just finalizing registrations and stuff and putting her in a university that is well suited for her. And I know that she'll flourish. So part of my work as a human being placed on earth, my biggest responsibility has been raising the kids. And I come out of it now. I'm 40, she's 20, he's turning 14 this year. And I think, it's time for me to take care of me again. So I never felt that I was any less of an accomplished human being where my sisters are concerned. No, not at all. They, we inspire each other in different ways. They inspire me right now. We're starting a business to say, especially Danelle, I'm inspired by her thrive and her drive, and which is something that we all have as our blueprint. And all she's doing is that she's the matchstick and I'm the match. Well, box. And we're just doing this to each other. And she's igniting, and we're just igniting here and there. And ultimately, we blossom and bloom where we planted.
So simple, me.
Yes, ma'am.
You and Tando are creating a very sensual bedding. And I know most women, we've all faced some sort of rejection at some point. Now, what really attracted me to your products is that it says that you can find confidence in sleeping in luxury. You can find confidence in sleeping in a fabric that makes you feel more womanly, more like a queen. And that speaks volumes on its own. I was looking at your various pictures, I was on your website. That speaks volumes. And I just want to understand, is that impacted or is that influenced and enhanced by all that you went through as a woman?
I spent many, many, many lonely nights in my bed. I'm not gonna cry, don't look at me. I'm done crying.
You're making me cry. I want to cry now.
I'm sorry. I learned how to wear rejection like the grandest diamonds, because I would cry all night and I'd wake up in the morning and I'd take a shower and I'd be out there and as if nothing is wrong. I would go on these holidays and post these truths, half truths, which I call them lies. So I would post these lies on Instagram, on the beach and solo vibes, and have strangers take those pictures. That was not kosher. That was absolutely not kosher. Necessary at the time because, of course, I'm a runner. I know how to run away. And I fall back onto that, or I fell back onto that notion. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, it was the loneliest, coldest place. This home has always been very inviting and warm when it's the three of us. The minute my ex-husband would come in, it would feel cold and dark. I don't know how to explain it. And I'm not speaking bad of anybody, but it's just, when two energies are not aligned and are not meant to be together and they force through it, and it was just cold. There's been moments where I had rejected my bedroom and I moved into the guest room. And there'd be moments where I would get into the car at 2 o'clock in the morning and just drive to go drink somewhere and leave him in the house with the kids. Not proud of that, but that is my truth and I will own it. And there's been, moments where I sat on Google and Googled sexless marriage. And I was shocked to find out that that is what I was in, a sexless marriage, you know, um, not by distance, but by choice. So out of that, I built my celibacy journeys every year that I did for 6 months. It made sense to me, and people would be like, but why are you uber celibate? And I'd never divulge and never speak about it. And yeah, then that's when you're living that kind of life and you're living it for so long. And because I'm a person who owns my story, and I am not in the least bit shamed by it, because it's my shoes. I'm walking them. There's no blueprint that says to me, turn left, turn right. There was no manual. So once there's a lack of intimacy in the home, the human being yearns for intimacy and you find intimacy outside. So I fell in love outside of my marriage and the complications that came with that. And when the divorce went final, I decided to cut everything, completely cut everything. I mean, I don't understand. I don't know if anybody understands, and people would probably judge it, and some people would not even understand it. And this is so painful for me because you fall in love with somebody at the wrong time, right person at the wrong time. And at this phase in my life, I'm going through the most wicked part of the divorce. And you love and fight at the same time. You can't love and fight at the same time. You can't go there and say, oh, baby, 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 and come back and be a dragon, you know? So, out of all of that experience, the sexless marriage, the, falling in love, and I felt, and I still feel that I had a full right to be in love. And, it doesn't matter whatever way it came in. And when I look at this brand, it speaks of everything. It speaks of the Mpumi, the lover. It speaks of Mpumi, the lonely, the hurts, and just putting all of that, because all of it is just hurts, and you put something and you turn it into some sort of diamond that is going to be one, a life lesson for you forever. Two, it teaches me that there is no man that is going to get into my bed and sleep in my la 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 and I la la
Yeah.
foot. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So I am not going to be party to be that, to be party to that. So for me, it's like success turned inside out. Success is failure turned inside out. So if you have a perspective and an overview, and very neutral one, and a eagle's eye view on a situation, and you remove all emotions, and you look at the practical situation, and you say, how are we going to turn this around and make it, what it should be? So I'm I'm yeah, this is the baby that we building. It's built from pain. But the story even makes it even more um tangible, and it wakes you up in the morning. It fires me up all the time. The creative sparks and the juices flow. So yeah, that is that for me. Not for you.
Wow. Atanda, I've been having a great conversation with your mom. Now I want to speak to you now about two things. The lounge way.
Yeah.
Is there perhaps any plans for creating loungewear for fully figured women? Maybe.
Definitely we are, but I think where we're lacking, actually, not even I think, I know where we're lacking is when we create our loungewear, we create for us, then we post on social media. The sizes range, but then our issue is that we haven't taken like a bigger girl or plus size, and been like, hey, we're making a sample for you. Let's have a photo shoot. That's where our downfall is at the moment. So that's where we need to pick up for sure. But definitely for sure, all our lingerie, it ranges from extra small to double XL.
And I think that maybe not a downfall. That's just a point for us to improve. Perspective, baby.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's we are still fairly new. So we are having our teething, not problems, teething perspectives. And correcting here and there. And the one thing that one is super, super proud of, and this was Tando's idea, because I had said to her, let's ship from China, it will be quicker, it will be, easier. And Tando refused, adamantly refused. And I'm glad I heeded that. And what we get and what we make is all made by South African hands, which is great because it's
Wow.
jobs. Nothing is shipped from abroad except for the material. We would love to get to a space where we can create our own prints,
Okay.
where we have a huge warehouse and we start manufacturing. I mean, these are not pipe dreams, these are realistic dreams for me. And I have the vision in my head where, while you're asking if we're creating for BBW, is that what it's called? Or is it a bad word?
That's, yeah, rap music makes it a bad word.
So for the fully figured,
Yeah.
apologies about the BBW.
Yes.
So yes, we cater for all sizes. Apart from catering for all sizes, as we expand as well, we would love to cater for men, women, children. So we won't say much, but there's a lot that's coming out, and that's coming up. So excited for the growth. We're turning a year in July.
Oh, the 96%.
Yeah.
10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. We're turning a year in July.
Wow.
My divorce was.
Any plans to
Sorry.
any plans to distribute in mainstream retailers?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Not only distribute, and you're looking at mainstream retailers, we're looking international. Retailers. We've got retailers in
Oh, yeah.
European countries that have made contact that would like to get our Lalala to sell that side. We've got finalizing a partnership in Nigeria. Where else?
Wow.
In Hong Kong as well. There's a retailer that would like us to ship out so that they can sell Lalala as well. So the international exposure has not been in vain as well. Just, created great contacts. I would love to see Lalala having a store in the Emirates Mall, the Mall of the Emirates in Dubai. And it's going to happen.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, it is definitely. It is. It is. So, what is so peculiar about the kind of linen that you produce? Do you produce this linen yourself, or do you have a supplier maybe?
We outsource the linen. So what we're bringing is, how to put it, sleep is one of the most important activities that we do as human beings, right? And it is the only exercise where we practice permanent sleep death. And I think a lot of people don't take that into account, right? That the factors that have you have bad sleep is not only the pillow or the mattress. The biggest factor is also the kind of sleep where you sleep in what season you sleep in. Excuse me, the size of your inner, the type of your inner. Is it goose feathers, or or is it the fiber? How thick is it? How thin is it? What season are we? A lot of people have this love for Egyptian cotton, for example, and what they don't know is that
True.
it is one of the most difficult beddings you can sleep in for your full sleep. We produce it, of course, because it's lovely. I love it. Forget about sleep when I'm sleeping in my Egyptian cotton. I love it. I just love the crispness and the cleanliness of it all. And then we've got other materials that we go into detail in our blog and explain why we chose those materials. We are 100% environmentally friendly, and we make sure that we recycle our fabrics. So the fabrics that you see in certain loungewears that we produce are the same fabrics that we don't throw away material. So out of the bedding, the cutaways, we create loungewear with it. Yeah, so you want to add?
You know, when we speak about linen, my late grandmother taught me a very fundamental thing about linen. She used to say to me that linen has a way of fresh. It can absorb and make you feel a little bit cooler in the summer nights. How true is that?
That is very true. So 100% linen is one of those materials that allows the skin to breathe. So what it does is that while you're sleeping, it regulates your body heat and circulates in such a way that it keeps an equilibrium body heat throughout your sleep. So therefore you have long sleep and you're not jitty, edgy in your sleep. You know, you just have a one line permanent kind of sleep pattern. So that's very true. If you also try to sleep in a heavy bedding during summer, you will find yourself waking up every so often. You sweat, you know, you hot, you want to have one foot out of the corner of the blanket, you know, so yeah.
And I always hear people say you can never go wrong with linen. It's the strongest fiber is. It's much stronger than cotton even. Do you believe that as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One, it's comfortable on the skin. I'm a firm believer that if I'm to sleep in something, I should be able to wear it. If I can wear it the whole day and get into bed with it, then you know it's definitely going to go into the bedding material that we utilize. The beautiful thing about Lalala is that we test our own product. We don't test it on animals.
We're the animals.
So we're the animals. We test our products on ourselves. So we have slept in every single bedding that we provide. We've tried every single loungewear. There is one in particular material that we will not use again because it looks nice, but it was wrong. We would not know this if we didn't try it out. And thanks also for, you know, our customers. They give us constructive feedback, you know, and we heed it, we listen to it. Going back, you mentioned if we cater for the fuller figured, we do, and we have these sitati kaftans that we have. That range is definitely a size for, you know, your fuller figured. And our bedding is all size fits all.
Wow, that's incredible. That truly is incredible. You mentioned something about linen when I asked you a question earlier that it somehow helps to maintain your natural pH levels. Now, how's your linen when it comes to problematic skin and allergies?
It's hypoallergenic. Yeah, I've got a problem pronouncing this.
Is it allergenic?
Hypoallergenic. Yes, we use the materials that we use are hypoallergenic, so they are since they're sensitive, they're good for sensitive skin. Yeah, and it's natural, 100%. You know, cotton if we use it, and it's linen, 100% linen if we use. So yeah, good on the skin. I've got sensitive skin, so I'm not having any problems. And also in the way that we care for it, we've got a blog site on the website that stipulates and shows hints and tips on how to take care of the bedding and how to wash it. Powder soap? No, I don't use Stay Soft in the house. I've never used Stay Soft at all. So that is something that I wouldn't recommend for our bedding. I would not recommend powder soap. Dishwasher, a spoon, 2 spoons of dishwashing liquid with bicarbonate of soda, and some vinegar, Epsom salt, sorry. Epsom salt and what's that vinegar that we use?
Apple cider.
Apple cider. A cup of apple cider,
Okay.
2 spoons of dishwashing liquid, and a cup of bicarbonate of soda in warm water. Leave it for 30 minutes, soak, and after that you wash it and hang it. Easy.
And the thing about linen is that the more you wash it, it becomes more soft and absorbent, so to speak.
Yeah. And I think my favorite part about the linen is that it's got this creasy effect. So it also gives that chic look to the bed, you know. Kind of.
Yes. Sisimpumi and Tando, I have a lot of comments here. I'm just going to read a few. People are really admiring you, ladies. I have Malakiwe Kiwe Manoto saying yes, ladies. I have Cherish Bundisa saying my aunt Ridumetse Sitoba loves you guys and she wants to know when and where can she get your linen. Tembingosi Sikupela says mother and daughter running a business together. How does that work? My mom and I would drive each other crazy. How does that work? Do you feel that you can get away with certain things because it's money?
It's funny, when it comes to money, we trust each other.
Yeah. Money is like...
No, I trust her with money. I mean...
We don't play with money.
No, we don't. No.
We've been in situations where money was obviously not there, you know, like I'd say half of South Africa, you know, and it was a struggle, obviously. So once okay, everyone is different. So I'll say with us, once we finally got it, we learned how to use it, you know, and then it's like money is not an issue with us. It won't be, you know, but then butting of heads, oh my gosh. Like sometimes it's a thing of, are you my business partner right now or are you my mother? Or you have to choose one. You can't be both, you know. But other than that, I'd actually think this brought us closer, you know.
Yeah.
We learned a lot from each other. We learned a lot about each other as well.
Yeah, I think she's kind of figured that the most important thing that you want to get done with me, for me to be in a good mood and good spirits, is that one just needs to feed me. I just cannot be up there hungry, you know. And other than that, yeah, there's little things that nobody's perfect, and I think the beautiful thing about working with my daughter is that I am responsible to understand and be patient, and sometimes I lose it, and sometimes I lose it deliberately. She has not gotten into the world that requires you to push yourself, get out of bed, you know, get into the shower, and she's getting there. In the beginning, it was a struggle. Tando's still in bed at 10 o'clock and we still got work to do, you know. So yeah, no, now she wakes up and she's at 6 o'clock. Morning, mom. Can I go and get this done? You know, so yeah, we're getting there. And I think the most important thing is just also learning each other's personalities, each other's love languages. And I think once you have that package, then you create an environment you don't want to escape from. We live together. Soon she's out of the house. The young one is already out and I'm going to be stuck by myself. So we live together, we eat together, we work together, and if we learn each other's love languages, then we can, smoothly get in and out of each environment, mother, daughter, working environment. So yeah.
So Simpumi, as a country, actually as the whole world, we've experienced a very dire circumstance financially. And a lot of people have lost their jobs. And some of these people who have lost their jobs have been accustomed to doing one particular job for a lengthy period of time. Would you say it is essential for people to have the desire to try new things?
I would say one of two things. Yes. I think it's important for people to be diverse in thinking and not narrow-minded. I think it's important for people to not subject themselves to um, a set way of living. Um, maybe easier for me to say, or maybe easier said than done. And if I offend anybody, I don't intend to. And I think it's just really that kind of diverse thinking, puts you in a better space when you're hit with issues like job loss or whatever difficult issues there are, because then your mind is then wired to say, okay, plan B. I don't like plan B. I like to stick with plan A, but I'd like to keep plan Z, and all the plans in between, so that if one falls through, there's another one. So passive income, I think this situation that we find ourselves in, the COVID, era that we're living in, is one of those situations that teaches me that passive income is one of the most important things to have in life. You know, it doesn't matter if rekisa tamati, or it doesn't matter. I'm not saying that one needs to like now say, oh yeah, it's luxurious, la la la. No, no, no. There were other things that we've tried that failed, you know, and not ashamed to speak about them, you know. I've tried selling sneakers, I've tried selling clothes, dono boutique clothes, I've tried all sorts of stuff to try and get the passive income coming through, but it was just not happening. It didn't happen. And here it seems that, we're being accepted, and finally we're hitting a certain mark. I wouldn't say we've hit the gold mine yet, but what happens tomorrow when another epidemic comes through and squishes things like bolalala, out of the path? What then, Nompumelelo? So I'm thinking along those lines, and it becomes very important for me what she studies. She studies something that is not going to be one of those careers that you just mentioned right now, should an epidemic come through. I think jobs that allow us to work from home. Now, more than ever, we've realized that driving to work and spending all those hours in the office has been the biggest lie that we've ever been sold, that we could do so many things from our home. Makgowa ga la etsa nthwena, ga le bona di-corner houses converted into offices, and we've always seen and gone to restaurants and seen somebody in the corner there with a laptop. That time, but no, it's clear that they never had internet and they were using the internet go. So yeah, and look, I sympathize with people that have lost their lives. Rest in peace. I think every single one of us has lost somebody that is close to them. I sympathize with people that have lost their jobs. I sympathize with people that are sitting there not knowing if their debit orders are going to get paid, is the money coming in, people that cannot pay school fees. It's such a dark time, but I think we can also turn it into a positive, you know. In whatever field that you are in, whatever that you're doing at work and the job that you lost, maybe you can create take something out of that and create a little, business with it running from home. And I'm just loving how Black people are supporting each other right now. That I have to put it out there, It is phenomenal. It is absolutely, I mean, we're inspiring each other like nobody's business. This morning I was inspired by the gentleman that created the sneakers called Drip. So he started off with one sneaker living because he needed shoes, right? And now he's got this multi-million story of a building, and there's this Drip label that's there. And for me, I looked at that and I was like, damn, that's inspirational. Black child, it's possible,
Yes.
So even within all
What entails?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just asking one question. What entails starting a business like Lalala? I mean, financially, effort-wise, dedication-wise, what does it entail? Because people think that starting a business is a pretty simple thing. You wake up in the morning, as long as you have a business plan or you have a proposal or you have this in mind, you can start it and boom, off it goes. What does it entail to start such a particular business?
So this baby has been, the bedding part of it has been, years, has been in conception for 8 years. Writing down, I'm a big fan of the vision board. So every year there's a vision board.
Me too.
Yeah, so it's been in conception for 8 years, writing down, making notes, scratching up there, while traveling, going into bedding stores to see what's out there and to learn more. So every single travel that I had abroad, guaranteed I would walk into a mall and go into a home lifestyle store, and see the kind, and take pictures. I've got so many pictures of all sorts of bedding. And the capital, of course, is needed. I put a fraction of my savings into Lalala, and we were offered funding. And I know that this is what a lot of people want. They want, you have a business and you want funding. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. And I'm not saying don't give us funding in the future, right? All I'm saying is that as exciting as it is for us to have taken the opportunity to take this 5 million rand funding, and we were not even a year in existence, or 2 years or 3 years in existence. So we have not even had a chance to see if we calculated our overheads correctly, if the pricing is done right, if we're going to go down after 6 months, or going to go flourish, or we're going to flatline, in 2 years. So when we turned down, I think I made the decision to turn down the funding, right, and put some rather capital from my savings into Lalala as a return on investment. For me, it was one of the most smartest moves we've done for now. Once we know how the furniture works out and the manufacturing of it all, and we want to get into that manufacturing space that I spoke about, and we've established ourselves and roots, and customers and us have reciprocated and have created a long-standing relationship, then yes, we can go into funding, but not now. Because we're almost a year into Lalala, and would be paying back how much for 5 million rand funding a month? It just didn't make sense, So there's just those things. There's a lady who takes care of our business documents. There's a gentleman who takes care of our finances. There's Christina from Blue Butterfly who takes care of our public relations. and there's a gentleman who takes care of our website. So investing in such, you know, you don't want to start a business and think that you can do it all by yourself, you know. I have got zero capacity to say 1 + 1 = 2 every day, just out of that. There's, my son has got that, you know. We go to a grocery store, and by the time he tells you, no, your change is going to be this much. So he's got that brain. My brain is creative, you know. I'm very creative here, but I have a problem not problem. I lack the patience to take the creativity out of here and put it here and put on the table. So she helps me with that, you know, when we have conversations. For me, I get lost in translation because it's already a big picture here, and now you want me to dissect it one day, you know. I'm in public, so therefore we had to have Christina come on board, you know, and do the public, maybe the PR for us. Yeah, so investing in, you know, investable, if I may create such little departments that put the whole picture together. Yeah, of course, it takes money, you know, it takes capital to have all of that. But, you know, I'm just glad that and very fortunate that the funds were there and to be able to start and to run. So when that money comes back, whether it's now or 5 years from now, it will come back.
Definitely, it will come back. Sis Mpumi and Tando, I'm very inspired. I am truly inspired. What are your last words? Not last words, but what advice would you give to young people, to adults who want to start their own thing? I can have an opinion from both of you. Especially you, Tando. Let's start with you. From your kids, what advice could you give to your peers?
Everyone has their own finish line. Don't look at the next person and compare yourself to them, you know. And the reason why I say this is because I only matriculated when I was 20, you know. My peers matriculated when they were in 2018. So don't look at the next person and think that you're supposed to be there, because there's some of them who aren't where they said they're going to be, you know, and that's okay even. And at your own pace, you know, slow and steady wins the race, honestly speaking. So visualize what you want, be who you want, visualize who you see and who you want to be, and work to be that person, you know. And there's no such thing as a dumb answer. There's no such thing as a dumb idea either, you know. If it doesn't work, hit the books and start again. If it doesn't work, hit the books and start again. That's what I have for now.
Wow, solid advice. Thank you. Sis Mpumi?
For me, it would be do not doubt your ideas, because those ideas are God's whispers into you, and He does not whisper those ideas into somebody else. So do not listen to somebody else that doubts them, you know. That voice that nudges you every damn time, listen to it. At some point, you got to cave in. And for every idea, we're not unique. We're not the first bedding company to start, you know. We are unique in our what inspired us to start it, you know. Inspiration is out there, grab it. Nobody is your competitor. People are just inspired by you. You know, if somebody feels that, you know, this is it, this inspires me, and tomorrow, because you know each other and now you want to strangle them because they took your idea, it's not your idea. You know, nobody owns these ideas. Everybody has got a whisper that's inside of them. And for every one person that has an idea, I guarantee there's 10 people that have the same idea. You wouldn't want to have God whisper something in your ear and then you sit on it and have a person that you know run with it. And then you see the finished product of what could have been. So you don't want to be a I could have been, you know, must say so kudile when you're much older to say, you know, in my life I had this dream, I wanted to do that, and you want to be the doer, you know. I aim to be a 2% citizen of the globe, you know, the
Wow.
percentage create. I aim to be that, you know, and I'm not only talking about ideas, I'm talking about financially as well, you know. I don't want to sit with the 98% and sit there and say, okay, now we're going to be sheep, we're going to work, we're coming back. Da, 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 da. My life is not structured that way. My everything in me is just not structured that way, you know. I have a problem taking orders, so I have to create a space that's safe for me to be able to live with those, you know, defects that I've come born with. You know what I mean? So, um, whatever drives you, run with it. Do not be afraid to send an email to people that have started before you. I sent Oprah an email how many years back? I'm just that, you know, I'm that bold. I'm that person. I've sent Oprah an email and I've asked her questions, and she thought I wanted a washing machine. I didn't want a washing machine. I wanted to know how she got there, not the Oprah that we know, but that woman who was a news anchor. I wanted to know the story of that woman.
Yes.
Um, she still hasn't answered me, and I'm still going to meet her and tell her and pull up the email and say, well, you know. But yeah, so don't be afraid to, you know, knock on people's doors and ask for advice. And I say this because, you know, I have sat with prominent people that I never imagined that I would meet. And I'm, you know, financial advisor of the King of Bahrain, you know, sitting and asking questions to say, how is the financial intelligence? You know, 1+1 is a problem for me, but you know, you are, you know, advising the King of Bahrain, you know, got finance. What is it that you do that you can give me that I can bring into my little corner? You know, and I've made a friend for life there, you know. I've sat with so many prominent people that I would not want to mention because I mean, now we are POPIA compliant. You know, so you need to protect people and their private information, you know. And I've sat and I've asked like relevant questions for me, for my growth, you know. And I never felt that I was beneath them in any way or form. I just, you know, asked questions and I got answered. And out of that, I've built lifelong relationships, you know. So do not, do not. Uska inyata. I'm a girl from Middlelands Clinic, you know, you know, walked the streets of Soweto, grew up in Diepkloof, lived good flatting. At some point, my home had no toilet for 8 years, and we did number 2 and number 1 in buckets, and we still went to private schools. So there is absolutely nothing in me that says it cannot be done. Permanently unveil your individuality, and that's why I call myself Boom, you know? So always remember, if you have an acronym that you can create out of your name, no Folke Nompumelelo, PUMI, it's P, permanently unveil my individuality. So that's always a reminder, because I also think that it's important to have, you know, the core meaning out of your name, you know? And yeah, and it's never too late. You know, I was a housewife for 14 years, a good part of the 14 years, and coming out of it, you know, filled with fear. I'm a housewife. He's bringing the bacon into the home. And at some point, because you're not working. And what the reality is that you are working, you're raising kids. That money that comes in is your money as well, you know? So don't be intimidated. Do not bow down to any form of intimidation because people will intimidate you. Like I did TLB today, you know, going out and demolishing things and grabbing people out of cars because I bought that and I did that. And I mean, what nonsense is that, you know? But we are out here saying that if you can do it, then the next person can do it. So do not doubt yourself at all. Try and live this life and ride the wheels and make sure that you live up to the person God put you on this earth to be and fulfill that.
Wow.
Every day. And that's it. That's for me.
I am truly inspired. I take a lot from both of you. Tando, I liked what you said that you only matriculated at age 20 and every person has their own journey. I became pregnant at age 19. I had my first child when I was 19 years old. And I like what you said is that every person has their own journey. And I like what your mother spoke about in the beginning, that she is not afraid to own her story. And I can see that that's a quality that you took from her because she is not afraid to own her own story. And to both of you, thank you so much for sharing the most. I believe it's crucial information. It's quite intense, painful things that you guys have shared with us. And I've gained a lot. I've learned a lot. Sisimpumi, as a mother, you have inspired me to continue on with the journey and producing kids like yours. I am truly inspired. Before we leave, before we close off, where can people find Lalala?
On our websites, which is www.lalalaintimate.com. Say it again, www.lalalaintimate.com. We've got social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And yeah, I was gonna say, please, I forgot the.
Okay, and then you can send us an email, info@lalalaintimate.com. And I've decided that my personal number now goes public because you know you can't now try and be exclusive with such a brand. So the brand must be exclusive. I'm no longer an exclusive human being. You can contact myself on either WhatsApp or call between the hours of 9 and 5, Monday to Saturday, and that is 079-146-4322. Yes, and men will be blocked immediately. Baba's a chancer, so that's fine.
Don't try.
And her number is 079-104-8495.
Yes.
I've yeah. 079-104-8495. And we are both available on WhatsApp and on call, preferably WhatsApp. So the orders come through and either on the website or what you see, and you want to have a personal one-on-one touch with us, yes, you're more than welcome to send us a WhatsApp and we will create that personal touch for you because customer service is the best service after all. And we will get your baby delivered as soon as it's done. So once the order comes in, then we start manufacturing the order. So not have people think that we have samples all the time, you know, we make to order. So every order is done and taken care of specifically based on the customer's needs.
Okay. Thank you so much for our invitation. It has been a pleasure conversing with you. I have learned so much. I wish that we could go on the entire night. I have learned a lot. Both of you are a true inspiration. I'm grateful to have met the both of you. I'm grateful to have had this conversation with you. And I promise very soon I will be visiting you to find out more about the product and to definitely buy a couple of linens for myself as well. So, Sis Nompumi, Tando Ranaka, thank you so much. Here at Select SATV, we wish you all that in all your endeavors. May God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Likewise, man.
Bye.
Likewise, man. Bye-bye. Bye. Wow, what